I love the idea of being able to show something from a unique perspective, and that's very well tailored for 3D animation. So a lot of my early short films really focused around maybe a tiny individual walking through like a large human-sized world. I definitely aim for something in that realm, colorful, whimsical, almost sort of looks like it might be made for kids, but has a very dark undertone. Hi, my name is Kris Theorin. I'm a creative director at Awry Productions. We are a production studio that specializes in 3D animation and live-action VFX shorts. When I started out back in 2017, I really used every project as an opportunity to learn a new skill. I would do a quick animation here and there to maybe learn doing character design, character animation, maybe cloth dynamics, things like that. So I would do one small project and use that as sort of a stepping stone to a slightly bigger project where I would maybe learn one more skill, take that information that I learned, go on to the next project. I tried many times to start out my own 3D short film. I would do the modeling for the characters, get a story going, do a lot of the sets, and then in like the final hour before production starts, it all sort of fizzles away, either due to my own experience, sort of biting off too much I could chew, or just crushing technical issues that just could not be overcome. So in the end, after a few years of this, I really still wanted to try to do some sort of 3D short film, and I decided that a sort of music video inspired approach would be a great way to do something that was both quick, visually just catches your eye, and would be a great thing to just put up online and try to get some attention from that. And so the idea for Cyberkicks was born. So since Cyberkicks was very much a one-man production, I was doing all the modeling, all the animation, all the lighting, rendering, compositing, all that stuff was just done by me. Over the course of 3 months, I really had to cut corners, optimize where I could, and just make sure, again, that I'm not biting off more than I can chew for a project, or else it just doesn't get made. The whole setting revolved around this big sci-fi world with these tall buildings, cars going by, people walking down the streets, so it had to be super populated with trash cans, with diners, with tall sci-fi structures, with glowing neon everywhere. And of course, being the only person on production, I can't be the one to do all that. So I turned to Kitbash, who I knew had these excellent looking sci-fi structures. And not only that, they had a specific kit for sort of the nitty gritty of the cyberpunk universe where it was more down on street level, had a lot of great food stands, a lot of little sci-fi elements like put on the streets, traffic cones, things like that. And so I was able to really quickly populate the city and get a working setup going in just a few days, because it cuts down on the production time. We're able to iterate a lot quicker, and we're able to do it all with a very small crew, which is not always done in 3D animation. Throughout the run of the company, we've always done a whole bunch of spec commercials, spec shorts, essentially sort of sample projects that we can show clients, we can post it online, or we wanted to dip into the realm of sort of game advertisement, video games, mobile ads, things like that. And so the idea for Bro Knew a Brawl was this wizard character fighting off a horde of angry skeletons, and then eventually facing the ultimate boss skeleton. And of course, the creative process was very much the same as for Cyberkicks, where I was doing pretty much everything myself. Things like the armor that the skeletons are wearing, the town itself, they're all pre-made assets that I modify myself and then place on my more custom skeleton characters and the wizard character. All this is done in either ZBrush, Cinema 4D, and then motion capture is used throughout for the skeletons, for the wizard, all the sword fighting that you see. It's just me in a motion capture suit, going crazy on a bunch of phantom skeletons that I can't see and sort of miming out the actions. But unlike Cyberkicks, where we're sort of running through the streets and it's everything sort of flying by, this takes place in one area where you get to see a lot of the details of the environment. I've worked on a number of projects where I've had to cut it down by 90% because it just was going to be too big, too impossible, and just take too much time and money to do. And so I just didn't have the time or the creative skill to create this whole medieval town just by myself in a couple of days. This is where we relied on Kitbash with their awesome medieval pack, along with the medieval streets pack, which came with all the stands that you see, all the crates, and just the little details we put here and there. We're essentially able to just move these big buildings around like Lego blocks, whether it be for the sci-fi city or the medieval town, and just basically sideset the whole production time to having to create these very detailed assets and sort of build them up one by one over the course of a few months. We're able to just jump right in, set them up in just a big scene, get a light in there, and we can really quickly see like how it's going to turn out and what it looks like with the characters. And so that's been a great way to sort of be able to pump out a lot more content than we might otherwise do, because 3D animation has historically been a very slow medium, so we're only able to work on a few projects at a time. And so it's definitely very refreshing compared to the other work we've done, both on the personal side where we want to create longer short films that are more in-depth, and then on the commercial side of things, being able to work with bigger brands, bigger budgets to support our personal projects. Really none of that's possible without, first starting small and not getting overambitious, getting burnt out, or just getting demotivated by sort of trying to do this epic project and then realizing that it just goes way beyond your scope. And so the team that benefit most from Kitbash are the smaller production teams like ourselves, who maybe don't have the time or the money to go out and hire a whole bunch of artists to create these big custom cities from scratch, when they could just go to Kitbash and get assets that are production ready, that look great, and that just seamlessly mesh into the background of whatever sort of sci-fi medieval city you might be creating.